Hello and welcome back to another episode of Waverly Zoo, and you join me on this lovely day overlooking our peaceful river with our bizarre looking dome in the distance here. Right, well thanks for joining me today. I do hope you're well. So in this episode we are going to be constructing something rather epic alongside our riverfront here. Which I'll show you in just a minute, but first I have done some detailing on the river. So if you saw the last episode, I did mention that this area here needed detailing, so that's exactly what I've done. I've just continued the same rock and shrubs from elsewhere along the river, and I've just brought them along here up until this bridge. Really simple, it just looks nice, just finishes off the area. Just continues the theme, blends everything together nicely. So yeah, very simple. Now the other thing that I've done is over the other side of the river here. It's quite a large area, but it was quite a quick and simple thing to do. I wanted to do something a bit different. I didn't want to just continue the same theme from this side. So what I've done, I've made it into this sort of a river walkway. So it joins the path here, and it comes along here, and it kind of sinks down right onto the water. So obviously there is a bit of a gap, but it is quite a low pathway, and it just snakes. It splits off here and snakes down this side, and then eventually it rejoins this side. It goes off and rejoins the pathway there, and then it comes off here as well, and will eventually do something over here. I'm not too sure what yet. And as you can see, I've just filled in all the gaps with lots of reeds, so it looks quite nice and overgrown. There's no animals in here, but in real life this would be a real sort of a haven for wildlife. You'd have fish, you'd have all sorts of birds and waterfowl, all sorts of things walking around in here. And I thought it made a nice difference to elsewhere. I wanted this area to have something in it rather than just continuing the river, and so this was the obvious solution, and I think it looks rather nice. Actually, I think it would be a very pleasant little area to walk around. There's plenty of benches and lights and bins. Yeah, obviously you can see over here I've also done just a bit of planting on this side, just continued with the trees and some bracken underneath, and then the same on this side again, just filled in all of this area here, just continuing the same trees and bracken, and obviously the two different types of reeds in the water. So yeah, just filled this area in here with something. I wanted it. I also wanted the extra pathway to actually link the two areas together, because you've got the main path here, and obviously you can walk. At the moment, you can walk into this area. You can't come off the back, but I will probably have steps or something coming down the back here as well. So yeah, just offering an alternate route to walk basically. And when you've got an area that looks as pretty as something like a river that's full of reeds, you would want to show it off. So having this little walkway is the perfect way to do that. So that is just a small bit of detailing that I've been doing. And now on to our main project for this video, which is here. As you can see, I've already got going with some pretty serious path work. And as you can see, I've already put loads of shops in. Although these are actually going to disappear, I've realised, because I'm not ever going to open this zoo to the public, so there's no need to actually have them here. It was more just really just to test the height and everything and make sure that everything would actually work. So this building, which you probably guessed already, is going to be an epic restaurant. And I say epic because I've actually already completed this project, and I'm just now going back and commentating on my save games that I've made as I've built it, and this has been an epic build. It's awesome actually. I'm really happy with how it turns out. So let me explain my working theory that I had at the start. So basically I wanted a two-story building, and I wanted the upstairs to have a very large seating area. So essentially all of this upstairs was going to be for tables and chairs, but with an indoor bit at the back and an outdoor bit here. So the main reason I want this building here is so that you could be sitting out here eating your dinner and overlooking the river. That's the whole point of this building, is that it's overlooking the scenery, and it's just going to be a really nice peaceful place to sit and have your lunch. So that is the theory. Obviously the downstairs area is not actually going to be in use. So I know I'm going for realism in this zoo. However, I don't want to have to do another interior for this building. That's not why I'm doing this building. This building is all about the exterior and specifically the upstairs area. So what my plan was all along was to have the downstairs area completely enclosed with walls, and then to have just doorways, and then the upstairs area is where all my detailing and the sort of see-through glass walls and things will be. So that was my theory. This area here, the idea of this area was always going to be disabled access. So I wanted wheelchairs to be able to get upstairs, and obviously that is quite a long height. A long height? That was terrible English. That makes no sense at all. It's quite a difference in height, I suppose I could say, between the ground floor and the first floor. So I needed a lot of space here to have a very gradual slope for wheelchair users to get up and down. So that was my theory there. Obviously, oh, excuse me while my computer lags. My computer is starting to struggle a bit with this zoo, I'll be honest. Obviously this is your main entrance for most basic access from downstairs to upstairs as well. And I wasn't too sure what I was doing along the bottom here, but I had a bit of an idea, and you'll see what I came up with for that a little bit later. So that was the start of the building. So let me move on and show you what I did next. Right. Oh, excuse me. Okay, we made some progress here. So as you can see at the side here, like I said, this was always going to be where the disabled access ramp came from the ground floor to the first floor. So this is what I've done here. So I've connected it in here. So obviously there'll be a sort of a fake door on there, even though I have obviously connected it inside. I don't want you to be able to actually see inside the building, so that will be a fake door. And then I've used the same path technique to create a gradual slope, just snaking around and around and around and around and up to the first floor. And the first floor itself, I've put in the basic structure here. So I want the whole thing to be glass because I really want you to be able to sit in here and look out and see the zoo. So I don't know what's going to be over here yet, but you know, I want you to really be able to see everywhere. So there's a double arch in the middle, and then two smaller arches here and here, which again I was quite lucky because I didn't measure this out when I actually built the building, so the spacing worked out absolutely perfectly. Pure luck, but yeah, that's all good. And then down the bottom here, I didn't know what to do around the front, and so I came up with this, which I kind of like because again it's all to do with the disabled access, because you may well find that you know, wheelchair users don't want to have to go all the way, you know, get pushed all the way up here to get to the first floor. They might just want to sit down here and enjoy the view. And so I thought I might as well extend the pathway out here, and then I changed the front of the building here and put these lovely archways all the way along here, so I can have more disabled area down here. Now it's not a lot, but basically what I'll do is put a load of benches down this side, and then wheelchair users would be able to come in here and sit down under here under shelter, but still enjoy a bit of a view. I know there's a path right in front here, unfortunately. It's not a lot I can do about that, but at least you can see out. Yeah, just wondering whether I could remove the fencing from this bit of pathway, but you kind of need it because otherwise people could just wander off and drown in the river, couldn't they? So yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, I'm really happy with how these archways turned out, because these are individual pieces, and then I've just added the pillars with the tops and the bottoms, and then one of these large pieces at the bottom, and then I just duplicated it all the way along there, and I think that looks very nice. Yeah, again, just filled out the building at the end, just rounded this corner off, looks nice. And obviously the building itself is all just limestone at the moment. There'll be a lot of detail going on to that, including some sort of external window areas here. I'm going to have a small backstage area here, sort of an entrance to actually bring goods into the kitchens, which would be hidden under here somewhere. Plus, of course, lots of foliage. Got an idea of how to do this area at the end here. Like I said, I've already actually done this entire build, so I'm commentating knowing exactly what I do in the future, and I'm really happy with what I end up doing over here, because I didn't want to just do it like I have before, where I just put some normal trees around and dot some shrubs. I wanted it to be a bit different, so what I've done here I think actually works out very nicely. And obviously some sort of a roof. I didn't really know what I was going to do roof wise, but again, very happy with how it turns out. But for now, that's a bit more of the basic structures. You get more of an idea of what the building's going to look like in a while. So let's move on to my next save game, and I'll explain what I've done next. Okay, so I've moved on a bit here and started work on the downstairs areas. So I created this as a small backstage entrance. Very simple. Obviously I will put a gate across here, as I always do, but yeah, you know, there's got to be an area where they can bring all the stuff into the kitchen. So that's what that is. And then I created this sort of external window. So I've done this as a separate building here, and I put one there, and I've also put a couple around the front here. And then I've continued the same window theme and this lovely red clay roof, which I think works really nicely, all the way around here and around here. So this is our big exit here, so people can come out and head upstairs. I think it works really well actually, using this roofing as just kind of a, I don't know, like a little veranda type thing, just sticking out the side there. I think it works very nicely. Just continued that all the way along here, and then this is our big grand entrance. Again, obviously it's a sort of fake entrance. I love these doors. I've never used these ones before. They look incredibly ornate, really, for a restaurant. But I just love them, and they work really well with the red roof. So yeah, so I'm going with it. It's a bit over the top, but I kind of like it. And then I've also changed the path. I believe that was in this video, not the last one. Sorry, I get confused as to when I've done these things. But yeah, I've changed the path type, so it's this slightly more sort of ragstone looking pathway, which is really nice, and I really like the railing excuse me, the railings that come with this as well. I think that it looks a lot better. So all of the pathway is now this type. Excuse me, got a bit of a frog in my throat today. So yeah, I think that's looking really nice, and obviously this red roof theme will continue into the large roof that covers the top here, and the roof I've always planned, obviously it will cover these 3 squares. It will also cover the back half of this outside area, which gives you the 3 options. So you'll have an undercover area, then you'll have an outdoor area, which is undercover, and an outdoor area along the front here, which is exposed a bit more. So it gives you lots of choices, basically, of whether you want to sit in the sun, whether you want to be indoors or outdoors, but in the shade. That was my thinking anyway. Yeah, so there we go. So that's I think that's coming along really nicely, actually. I do love this red roof, and I think the windows work really well as well. I think that's definitely looking restauranty, you know, because obviously upstairs you've got all this glass, so you can really see out well. But generally in restaurants, you know, you don't want people to feel enclosed, so you have a lot of windows, and I think these windows work really nicely when you string them together like this. It would really open up the inside. Obviously the inside doesn't exist, but which is a good job, because there's no way I'll be able to hide all of this stuff, like the roof panels here, and obviously the upstairs thing. It's not really tall enough in here for an actual inside, so I'm quite glad I made the decision not to detail the inside. So yeah, there we go. So much more to do. Like I said, this wasn't a seriously big project. It ended up taking a lot longer than I thought, but the result is worth it without a doubt. So without further delay, let me move on to my next update. Okay, so let's start down the bottom here with what I've done. I've added some lighting. I love these big balls. They're very modern, and I kind of like the contrast between the oldie look of these archways and then the modern look of the lighting. I thought that was kind of cool. It's very hard to cover up this top bit because obviously you've got the pathway upstairs here, and it just didn't look great. So I put these decorated panels just in a long line along here, just to give it that little look of like it's meant to be there, because otherwise you just had a big slab of concrete and it just didn't look very good at all. I put the seating down here. I've gone with these modern looking seats. I do change these a little bit actually. I turn some of them sideways because I was thinking obviously this is meant for wheelchair users potentially. So the problem with having the chairs this way, obviously you would have the wheelchair user sitting at the end where there isn't a bench, and obviously if you had a wheelchair here no one else could then get through. So what I've done, in a later video, I do turn every other one sideways, because then the wheelchair users would be able to sit further over this way at the end of the bench, and not block the pathway here. That was yeah, so that was something that didn't occur to me straight away. Just put one of these doors at the end, obviously, so that people inside could come out and serve the food up to the people sitting out here. Now what else have I done down here? This is all pretty much the same, I think. I can't remember if I changed some of this decorating. I think these bits of wood might have been new onto here. Really can't remember, to be honest. I think most of downstairs is now the same. Oh no, this end I also just decorated again along here with the same style, and continued these archways as well. I thought looked really nice along here. And I put the exterior door here with, again, just archway, simple pillars down the side, and then I sunk one of these panels in back here. I thought that looked kind of nice. And then just again, it's the same style door, obviously all painted red to match all the other red stuff. And then the main thing that I've actually done here is upstairs. So the glass obviously was just there as a main structure, and I didn't really know how I was going to decorate it, but I found these lovely red temple walls, and it just works. Putting these over the top of the glass panels, I had to do them double thickness because when you do them just on one side of the glass, the graphics kind of glitch on each other. So to make it so the glass was right in the middle, I either had to do it as a separate building or just double them up. So I thought I'd double them up because it needs to be a nice strong structure anyway. So that kind of made sense. The only problem that then presented me was on the outside here, where these outside pieces were then hanging over. So then I had to put this stone edging all the way along the bottom, which was fine because I sort of needed to do that anyway for the look. It didn't quite look right without it. It's just quite time consuming putting these all the way around here. I've realised I've got that there as a step. That's not good. I'm pretty sure I'll keep an eye on that, but I think I do remember that and get rid of that, because obviously you don't want to step there because that's wheelchair access. I'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, I think this red brickwork here looks fantastic. I really do, and it really highlights this, like the archway entrances as well. Oh, excuse me. See, this is the problem when you eat your lunch while you're doing commentaries. You end up belching at your listeners, which is not a good thing to do. So I do apologise, but I'm kind of multitasking here at the moment. Actually, I've just realised that I've got a gap under there, and I don't remember whether I fill that or not. I'll have to keep my eye on that, and if not, I will have to go back in at the end and put a bit of stone under there as well, because I cannot think whether I spotted that before or not. We shall see. Okay, so there we go. That's our next update. I think you can see the building is coming together really nicely, actually. it is grand, it is epic, it's big, but then it's basically it's the main restaurant for the whole zoo. It's where everyone would gather. It's kind of in the middle of the zoo. If you look at the actual, if that's the edge of the zoo there, that's the restaurant there. Even if I built the same amount on the other side, that is roughly in the middle. So actually it makes sense that that would be sort of your central dining area for the entire zoo. So I don't mind that it's epic. I mean, this zoo is full of epic buildings. I mean, look at this reptile thing here. It's so over the top, it's ridiculous, but I don't care. It's great fun to build this stuff. So yeah, I'm going with it. Right, so that is that update done. Let me load up the next one and we'll see what I did next. We have some real progress now. It's starting to look more like an actual building. So as you can see, I've gone with the clay roof up here as well, and I made it quite a tall roof. The building is quite large, obviously. I did originally do it with the same angled roof as down the bottom here, and it just didn't look big enough for the size of the building. So I went with the sharper angle, and it definitely works much better like that. Makes it stand out quite clearly. And I know it's a very large, samey roof. It's quite repetitive, but it is what it is. It's what it needs to be. So outside, you can see I've put some picnic tables down, and I've gone with some different coloured parasols, sort of mixing up nice and random. Didn't want that to look too repetitive along there. I've gone with these lovely metal ones outside. They need to be waterproof being outside, so it made sense to use the metal ones. And again, they're spaced. They're fairly patterned, but a little bit random. Like I could have easily had another one in here, and I've left it out. I probably should change them a little bit here. They're just a little bit too constant there, but I'm not too worried about it. And then inside, I've gone with these big stone ones. I really like the look of these. And they're sort of just rammed in, really. That's how it would be in here. There'd probably be, in a real restaurant, there would probably be even more than there is in here, but I wanted to leave a decent amount of space down the middle for wheelchairs and just for people to walk to and from as well. The roof, I've done this. If you watch my other videos, you might have seen me do this roof before, where you have the two different wooden panels alternating. It creates this nice sort of checkered effect. And then you put the big round lighting balls in the sunken ones, and I just think it creates a really nice roof effect. And it's definitely something that I will do again because I like it that much. And just put a few planters in. Nothing fancy, just some simple date palms in wooden planters. They, again, it's the sort of thing they would have in restaurants. You see it in big and small restaurants. Just a bit of greenery just makes people feel at home a bit more. And I've still not put a bit of stone under there. I'm pretty sure I have missed that completely. I'm going to have to go back in on my very last save game, aren't I, and redo that and just put a bit of stone under there. So yeah, so there we go. That's coming along really nicely. I think if you zoom out, I think that is starting to look like a finished building, which it basically is now. Actually. I think, because I've got all my doors on. Yeah, got that door, got that one. Yeah, so that's basically the building done. And I think it looks rather cool. But of course there's still more to do, because I've got all the foliage around these areas. I also create a nice sign for the restaurant, which I put over here and over here. And then I have my new idea of what I do around this walkway here, which I think is probably in the next cut. So I will go away and do that now, or I've already done it now. I will go away and load up the next save game to show you exactly what I did next. And here we are. Our restaurant is done, and as you can see, it is called the Riverview Restaurant. I've made a very simple sign here. It's a very predictable name because it is a restaurant with a river view. But there we go. That's what these places are. They always have very simple names. So yeah, I made a fairly basic wooden sign with some of these murals in the background. I thought that looked cool. That's really all you need for a restaurant. And then I've just decorated it around with some shrubs along the base here. So this is your little backstage entrance. Again, I've put one of my my gates there, and put some of this bamboo behind it. Actually, I quite liked just having some foliage showing up above the top here. Tree wise, I've gone with poplars around here. Didn't want to make it too overgrown, because obviously when you're in the restaurant I want the view not to be blocked. So again, along the front here, just gone with some shrubs, just a nice mixture of different shrubs all along here, and just one or two dotted in here. And this is mostly rocks back here, so you don't need too many shrubs. You can see here I've moved the some of these benches. So like I said, every other one has been turned. So basically wheelchairs now, if they came in here, they would be able to come in at the side of the bench here or here to use the bench. I know it's not ideal, it's not perfect, but that's the theory anyway. So I'm going with it. So yeah, tree wise, I've put in a couple here. I wanted to block the view a bit of the reptile house over there. I just want you to be able to see the roof in the distance, and it would kind of draw you in. You know, if you didn't know what it was, you'd see that and you think, oh my god, there's something major over there, let's go and have a look. So that was my theory for just blocking that view off a little bit more there. Come around the back, obviously I have just filled in this small bit here as well with a large oak tree and some bracken, nice and simple. I left this bit open. I didn't want to completely block everything in here, so along the front here, just some small trees in here, because again, if you're in the restaurant, I want you to be able to see out, so I didn't want to block that view too much. And the same down the bottom here, really. I didn't want this. I didn't want to just fill it all up with shrubs. I thought it would be too much. It's too big a area for that. And again, I wouldn't want to block the views from inside. So I thought it looked fine just leaving it with some long grass in here, and a view here. And again, if you're just walking along here, you know, it's nice to see this, because you'd see people coming and going up here. And it just draws you in, you know, it would kind of attract you, and you'd think, oh, I wonder where they're going, what's up there, kind of thing. So yeah, so I didn't want to block this off. So my main idea for foliage was at this end, as I have told you before. So my theory is I wanted to fill this this pathway up to make it quite overgrown. So I've done it with trees, but what I wanted, I basically sunk trees in, so that you don't really see the trunks, and I've layered them and layered them and layered them, so it just looks like a mass of shrubs. So let me move out and you'll see what I mean. There we go. So most of this is trees, but you don't see the base, you don't see the tree trunks. All you see is the results, you see the foliage. I think it looks really nice, with all the different colours and the different contrasts of the shapes of the leaves. You know, you see some stems, but on the whole it's just all the bushiness that you see. And again, in the middle here, some of these things aren't sunk into the ground at all, so I don't think I can really show you, because you just can't see. But some of these things, like particularly these orange ones, I think they're raised right up so that they stand out the top. But it just creates that sort of overgrown, sort of jungly feel, which is what I wanted. And again, all the way along under here, I wanted the view to be completely blocked here. So when you're in here, see, you come around here and you can't see a thing, and then suddenly you get to the bit where you're meant to be able to see, and boom, there's your view. And then the same really, so when you come out, you come up around here, you feel very enclosed, which is what I wanted. You know, and then you get to here and suddenly you've got, whoa, look at that, that's a cool building over there. And again, you come around here and you're still quite overgrown, and then up here, and there we go, and you get your view of whatever's going to be over there. So yeah, it's just a bit different to what I've done before. Different use of trees. You by sinking them into the ground, or indeed raising them up there, and just really trying to use as many different types as I could without going over the top, but just so that you've got all the different contrasts. And things like this, you can see here, I've got some shrubs here. Again, they're raised up, these are small shrubs that I've just raised up and plonked here, just to fill the gap in, and it just gives you that impression that they're bigger than they are, basically. And obviously I'll put another sign on the outside here as well. So yeah, I really like this. I think it looks really good. It's certainly something that I'll do again at some point. This gap down here I filled in with just some simple hydrangeas. I thought that would look nice there. Because again, these windows here, I didn't want to fill this up with really big bushy shrubs. So I thought hydrangeas, yes, they block the view, but then there's no view here anyway because you've got all of this here. So if you were in this restaurant here, at least you'd get some nice colour outside your window rather than just a load of green bushes. So that was my thinking behind that. But yeah, that's turned out really nice. I think that it just looks finished. It looks nice and filled up. So yeah, I'm very happy with how that pathway has come out, and generally I'm very happy with this entire building. I think it just looks epic. It looks good, it looks finished, it looks real, it looks like it could actually exist. Obviously it fits in nicely, I think, with the surrounds. It gives you some fantastic views of the river. So yeah, I'm very, very happy with how this whole project has turned out. I do have one more save to show you, which I will do in this video. I know this video is getting quite long, because I've done all of this here and this detailing here, and one other thing that I have done also is in this area over here, and it's not enough to do a video on its own, but I want to show you. So I'm going to go away and I'm going to reload that one more save game and show you what I've done over here, and that will be the end of this video. But on the whole, I am absolutely in love with this building. I think it just slots in to the area really nicely. So yeah, I'm very, very happy with how this has turned out. And obviously from over here, look, as you were coming out of this this woodland here, if you didn't know it was there, you get to see your sign first, and then as you come out you see that. I mean, you would want to go and have your lunch there, wouldn't you? Hopefully. So there we go. Right, so let me just load up this one last save game and I will show you what I've done over here. And here we are. So this is the final bit of the project for this building. As you can see, I've done a fair chunk over here. So first let me just show you what I've done with the road. So this obviously is a backstage road. So I did just a little bit of work here, just creating the start of a tunnel. Like I said before, I'm not going to do the detailing down underground, but I did want to get this top done, and I thought I'd do it this time with a bit of hedge work, and then just a simple flower bed with a stone surround, some trees, just so it's hidden, because obviously I don't know what I'm putting over here yet, but I don't really want you to be able to see too much of the backstage bits like that. So I just created a simple flower bed around there, and then I had this gap here, sort of a long thin gap, and I wasn't too sure what to put in it, so I had the idea of creating another seating area. So I thought, seeing as the restaurant is here, I thought potentially they could do a service where they actually bring the food over the pathway here and serve you out here as well. So that's what I did. So I extended the pathway under here, which I thought filled it out quite nicely. Oh, excuse me. Went with the one of these grass, not grass, what am I talking about? The hedge barrier along here, so that you can't see again the backstage areas. Filled in the edges with flowers, shrubbery, just more of what I always do to fill the gaps in. Just little basic simple shrubberies along here. Went with the different flooring again because I really liked this, the railings here, this metal railing. I kind of like the look of that, so I've gone with that on the floor, and I've gone with these lovely modern wooden benches. And these bits out here again, I thought I wanted a bit of height here, so I went with these lovely big, I've forgotten what they're called, the cypress trees, that's the ones, which I thought looked really nice along here in a nice sort of formal line. And then again, just underneath, just use these scaviola, are they? Yeah, scavola. I don't know how you pronounce that, but those ones all the way along under here. Again, I didn't want this to be too bushy because I didn't want to block the view. And then obviously I'd done that, and I thought it's missing something. It needs some sort of a canopy or something like that, some sort of roof. But I didn't want it to look too solid. So I went back to the entrance. If you remember, this wooden design is what I made the very entrance to the zoo, all the way back over wherever it is over there. And I just borrowed it from there basically, and I brought it over here, and I sort of copied it around and moved it together a bit here to create a bit more of a join along this bit here. And obviously I got rid of the ticket booths at the bottom, and just sunk it down low enough so that it actually looks like it's sitting on the floor. And I elongated it obviously just to fill out over here as well, and I think it looks really nice. It creates a nice bit of shade under here, so it would sort of shade you from the sun, but at the same time you get a little bit of light coming through, so it creates this nice sort of dappled lighting effect down under here as well. And I think this would be a lovely little place to come and eat your lunch. I think it's outside, but it sort of almost feels undercover, and you're surrounded by trees and shrubs. Yeah, I think this is it's worked out really nicely actually, this little area here. And at night, again, because I kept the lights on, so you got this simple red lighting. Again, just looks kind of cool, doesn't it? Actually, I didn't show you the restaurant at night either, so let me just show you that. So indoors, you've got these, obviously these nice bright bulbs there. I think that lights up very nicely. Put the lamp posts along the front here just to add a little bit of light. I didn't want it to be too bright, so I think that does the job just nicely. And again, down under here you've got these ones here that just light that up just enough, didn't want it to be too bright. And obviously you've got the fake windows all the way along the front here as well, and some slightly brighter lights along the front here. I had to turn these ones sideways because they hung down over the door too much, but actually I think that looks kind of cool having them sideways. It's just something a little bit different, so I was more than happy doing that. So there we go. So I apologise for the length of this video, but it's I kind of got a lot done, and these areas like this here and the what I did along the river wasn't really enough to put in a separate video. I didn't want to make a video just for the sake of it. That's not how I operate. So I thought I'd rather include it all in this one. But I'm really happy with how all of this came together actually. I did all of this in one session, this whole area. So the three bits of this sort of scenery work and this building, I've done it all in one session. Probably about 4 hours work I think altogether. And I'm very happy with how it all turned out. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've had fun, and please do let me know if you like it down in the comments, or if you don't, or if you've got any suggestions or ideas. But yeah, it sort of filled in all the blanks. I had lots of gaps everywhere, so I'm quite happy with how that's coming along now. So the next obvious bit I haven't done yet is over here, so I'm not too sure what I'm doing here yet. Oh yes, one other thing that I did do, I had this gap here, which originally I did say I was going to potentially put some sort of a cafe in with a view looking out over here. And obviously that's basically what I've done here, so I didn't want to do it again. So I have just sort of copped out a little bit and just filled this in with some greenery, some trees and some bracken. Just simple, just filling the gap kind of thing. It doesn't need more than that, and obviously that is what I'm going for in this zoo. Lots of greenery, lots of trees, not things aren't getting squashed together for the sake of it. I'm trying to expand and spread out. So that's what I've ended up putting in that gap. But we do have this small area here, so this I'm guessing will be some sort of a car park. So there may be some kind of a building around here. I was thinking I quite like the idea of doing something a bit different, some sort of research building maybe. Not really sure yet, but again it might be something quite spectacular that I do here. I've got a bit of an idea, some sort of a domed round building potentially, not really sure. I will have to see what inspires me. But for now, I'm going to call it a day there. So yeah, I hope you've been inspired by what I've done, because I certainly have. I've been really pleased with how this project has turned out, and in fact how this whole zoo is turning out. I'm very happy, very proud of what I've done in this zoo so far. I think you'll agree it's looking good. You know, I know it sounds a bit big-headed of me, but I am very happy with how this zoo is turning out so far. So yeah, so do let me know your opinions in the comments, please. So thank you very much for watching today and sticking with me all the way through this very long video, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Until then, take care and stay safe. So goodbye for now.